wanted to go over all of these crazy numbers and let you guys know that when I was looking at this place, I just thought, you know, I really don't know if I'm going to be able to sell a condo for $1.2 million, even 30 years from now. Now, I am reading all of these numbers off of my computer here because I could not remember all of these. Hi everybody, I'm Heather. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. So today, as you can tell from the title, I want to kind of look at how much owning a house, I mean, you don't really know how much you might have in repairs, but just the base cost is going to cost over 30 years. Because recently, my mom and I were looking at condos that are really nice, but they're also really expensive. The model we were looking at was like $542,000. Yeah, for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath place. I could not believe that that was the price. $542,000 did not even include Mello Roos or taxes or the HOA or even the interest rate that you're going to be paying for those 30 years. So I started to do some research and looked up an amortization schedule. That's going to kind of break down for you your loan and how much you're going to be paying in interest versus your principal. Now, interest is obviously according to the percentage rate that you get, and your principal is your payment that you actually get to keep. So interest will go to the bank or to whoever's owning your loan, and the principal is actually what you get to keep that goes towards how much you're actually paying onto the house. Let's say that you were buying a $500,000 home, which is like a $500,000 home, like something that I was looking at, and you had a loan of 3%, which is kind of the going rate right now. And you do have 20% down. Let's say that you somehow had $100,000. You would put, that's your 20% is $100,000 of the $500,000. So you would put down 20%. Your mortgage loan would be $400,000. Your 30-year interest payments on that loan would be $207,000. Can you believe that? $207,000. So more than like half of what your loan would be, you're paying just in interest at 3% over those 30 years. So your total cost with your mortgage and your principal, just your mortgage and your principal, I'm not talking taxes or Mello Roos or repairs, it would be $707,110. That's a lot. The amortization schedule calculator that I found is from bankrate.com. This video is not sponsored. Wish it was, but it's not. I couldn't believe that when I was able to look at the total principal paid and the total interest paid, I just couldn't believe that it would be $207,000 over 30 years that you would have to pay just to be able to get that loan. So you think that you're buying a house for $500,000 or $500,000, but with your 3% loan, your total actually comes out to $707,110. That's just insane to me. And like I was saying, that total does not include repairs, homeowners insurance, Mello Roos taxes, state taxes, or your HOA. I wanted to add in all of that to see what the 30-year cost would be. And I understand at the end of your 30-year loan, you're supposed to be able to sell it for more than what you paid. But if you go in just thinking, oh, I paid $500,000 for the house, not realizing that you paid a lot for your mortgage loan, and you also paid HOA dues, property taxes, and insurance, you need to add all that in to see how much the house really costs you. And that's before repairs as well, because repairs can vary, so I can't really add those in. If we put down the 20%, it's $100,000. If our mortgage loan was $400,000 and our 30-year interest payments were $207,110, at $365 a month for HOA dues, we're going to multiply that by 12 months by 30 years. That's $131,400 that you're paying for HOA. Your property taxes here in California would be about $438 a month. So let's multiply that by 12 months by another 30 years. And that comes out to $157,680. And then insurance, according to Redfin, would be about $92 a month. So we're going to again multiply that by 12 months and then multiply that by 30 years. And it comes out to $33,120 for a grand total of $1,029,310. That's crazy. that the condo over 30 years would actually cost you more than $1 million for something that you're paying what you think is $500,000. So I became really interested in all of this, like I was saying, because we were looking at a place here in San Diego, and it's a condo that's $542,000. So let's say that I only have 10% down. I would have to pay MPI, which is mortgage payment insurance, because I don't have the 20% down. So your bank or whoever's giving you that loan is going to charge you MPI. Now it'll come off once I've actually paid down the principal enough for me to have the 20% down, but that would take about 5 years because it would be about $50,000 that I would need in order to meet that 20% down. So let's look at the cost and use Redfin and bank rates calculators to see where we would be at a 3% interest rate. So I want to note here that Redfin does not add in the Mello Roos taxes, which for this condo would last 30 years. I would have to pay that. And the Mello Roos taxes for this property is $274 a month, or $2,993 a year for 30 years. So let's just add on another $90,000 for Mello Roos. The PMI would be about an extra $18,000 that I would have to pay, and I need to pay that within 5 years. And that's what they get to keep. You don't get to keep your PMI. So my mortgage payment insurance would be about $305 a month, and it'll come off after 5 years because I would have paid another $50,000 down on my principal. And if I add in all of those previous numbers of me putting 10% down, the mortgage loan to cover the purchase cost, the 30-year interest payment that I would have, the Mello Roos, the HOA of $274 a month for 12 months at 30 years, the property taxes per year, the insurance, and the MPI for an extra 5 years, our new total is $1,207,670. So now I'm paying $1.2 million for this place because I didn't have the full 20% down, and I'd have to pay for that. Now that does not even include any repairs that I might have over those 30 years. So the big question is, well, will you make your money back? In 30 years, your property is supposed to go up in value, and you're supposed to be able to make your money back. Okay, so some of my files were corrupted on the last shoot, so I'm gonna retape just a little bit of it. So let's film this again, shall we? So overall, I just really wanted to know if you're going to make your money back. If the money that you actually put into the house is something that you can actually make money off of, if it's a really good investment. So let's take a look at a house that was bought and built in 1990 and is being sold now in 2020, 30 years later. So according to Redfin, it sold for $183,000 in 1990. It's now worth about $564,000. Now, in 1990, the interest rates were pretty high. Right now, they're around 3%. Back in 1990, it was 10%. So let's go ahead and have a breakdown and look at the numbers and see what it actually comes out to be. So we can see the amortization schedule from bank rate and see how much interest they would have been paying at 10%. And then the reselling information I got, which is what we're going to be going off of, is from Redfin. So you would put down 20% of the house, which would be $36,600. The remainder of the mortgage loan would be $146,400. The 30-year 10% interest that you would be paying on the loan, according to bank rate, if you never refinanced, would come out to be $316,115. Your HOA dues for the house, because it's actually in a really nice housing complex, so it does have HOA dues, would be about $100 a month. So we're going to multiply that by 12 months for 30 years, and that comes out to $36,000. The property taxes are about $160 a month, so we're going to multiply that by 12 months by 30 years as well, and that comes out to $57,600. And I did get this from Redfin also. The insurance, according to Redfin, would have been about $34 a month. So once again, we're going to multiply that by 12 months by 30 years. And that comes out to $12,240. So your total cost for the 30 years of living in this house from 1990 to 2020, which was listed and bought for $183,000, comes out to $604,955. So what that means is that you need to sell it for more than $605,000 in order to make some money off of this deal. Now, if it's only valued at $564,000 right now, you're actually losing about $40,000, almost 41. So it's like $40,955 that you would have lost if you sold the house for what Redfin is claiming that the value of it is. And that's if they never refinanced. That's if they never did any repairs or any upgrades through the 30 years. Now, I figure you can look at it two ways. You can look at it that you lost $40,000 in your investment, or that it only cost you $40,000 to live in a place for 30 years. You can look at it either way. You know, when you rent a place, you don't have to worry about upgrades or repairs or even taxes, but you also don't really get to make it your own or get to change anything into what you would like. You also don't get any money back at all. So all of that rent that you're paying out, you will never see that come back. So you won't ever be able to say, oh, I only spent about $40,000 to live in a place for 30 years. And that only comes out to like $113, $114 every month that you had to pay out in order to live there. Now, I highly doubt you're going to find any rental that is around $115 and be able to keep that rent for 30 years. I kind of like to look at it both ways. You know, you can actually say that, oh, I lost $40,000 on the deal, or you can say it only cost me $40,000 to be able to own a house for 30 years. And you're never going to find a rental that is that cheap. So half full, half empty, either way you look at the glass, you still lost $40,000 on the deal, but you also only had to pay $40,000 to be able to live in a really nice house for 30 years. So I kind of see it as a positive, but I'm really wondering what you all think about this. And it seems like if you only purchased a house for $183,000 and now you're selling it for $565,000, that you would be making a lot of money. But when you look at all of the costs that are associated with owning the house, you see that you didn't make any money really, but also you didn't have to pay a lot of money to live somewhere. So kind of give and take on that, you know? Okay, hopefully these files will not be corrupted and I can upload this into the video. We'll see. So look, no one is perfect, so I really hope that I got my math right on these. But am I missing something? It just doesn't seem like you get that much of a great return when you seem to be paying out so much money. It just doesn't seem like a lot of money for 30 years. It just doesn't. And I'm just wondering, is it really better to buy or is it better to rent over that time? I guess that's something that you can decide. I mean, what if you were able to actually get a place that's under rent control? If you were able to get a place under rent control and they can't really raise the rent that much on you, it might actually be more beneficial to you, instead of putting down a huge down payment, to utilize that money towards something else. I don't know, stocks or some other investment that you might be able to make. And you wouldn't have to worry about repairs on that rental place either. You also wouldn't have to deal with any of the taxes. So I'm not really sure. I think it all just depends on your location, how much you're able to put down as a down payment for 20%, and how much growth you really think you're going to see within those 30 years. So I know it was a lot of numbers, but I just wanted to go over all of these crazy numbers and let you guys know that when I was looking at this place, I just thought, you know, I really don't know if I'm going to be able to sell a condo for $1.2 million, even 30 years from now. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Nobody knows the future. I mean, what do you think? I'm really interested in your thoughts. And also let me know if you're a professional or if maybe you have bought a house before and made money on it. Now, I'm not talking about the house flippers who buy a house and put a lot into renovations and then they're able to sell it. I'm talking about a place that you actually live in for 30 years. And when you finally get to sell it, how much were you making? Did you make enough to cover all of the costs, from the taxes to the HOA to all of it? Did you make your money back? Your insurance? I mean, did you make your money back? I mean, to me, when I looked at this amortization schedule, it really seemed like the only people that are really making money are the banks. And they're doing these loans all the time where they are giving a great rate at 3%, but over 30 years, you end up giving them 50% more than what you thought you were actually buying the place for. I don't know. It's all just crazy to me. So like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm really, really interested to have a conversation about this and to understand it because I'm looking for a place right now. And after running all of the numbers, I just don't really know if San Diego is a good place to buy or if I'm even going to make my money back over 30 years. It looks like how much you are paying to the banks from this amortization schedule is a lot of money. I mean, it's 50% more than the purchase price. So if you were able to have that money already, like you had $500,000 in the bank and you were able to just purchase the place outright, you wouldn't have to pay that extra $200,000 for the loan. It just seems like the banks are the ones that are making all the money. It's crazy to me. Let's talk about this. I'm Heather. Thank you all so much for subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified anytime that I upload a new video, just hit that little bell icon. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye!